Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to the Pageant Sit Down. My name's Regina Lena, and I am so happy for all of you to be with us today. We are at episode 51, and as crazy it is for me to say 51 episodes, I'm really excited because I have one of my pageant sisters who I've been dying to meet in person or virtually, but it looks like virtually came first, and I cannot wait for all of you to meet her. She is none other than Mrs. Pennsylvania Galaxy 2021, Sandahl Taylor. Hey, girl.
Hey, I'm so excited to be with you. So thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to meet you virtually.
I know it's crazy because we're like, oh, maybe we'll see each other at internationals. Maybe we'll see each other at nationals. But here we are. We're in the virtual platform. I'm so excited. But first off, there are some people who may not know who you are. So would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Sandahl Taylor. Fun fact about me is my name actually comes from Conan the Barbarian, the very first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So if you've never watched that movie, you need to watch it. There's a beautiful, gorgeous blonde who plays his love interest, and her real name is Sandahl Bergman. So I got to years back, and I have a husband. His name is Kenneth, and he is a former staff sergeant in the United States Army. He's now retired, so I'm really excited about that. 2 beautiful children. My son is 13, my daughter is 9, and my little fur baby Dash. You might see him coming up on camera because he likes to come on my live sometimes. And by day, I am a cosmetology educator, and by night, that's when my Batman version comes out, and I get to be a pageant queen.
I love that. Okay, so first off, if your dog shows up, that's perfect. I mean, we've had one dog on the show so far, and the fact that it's only been one, and it's also been a Mrs. Galaxy finalist. So, I mean, maybe there's this trend going on. Who knows? But okay, cosmetologist by day, hence why your skin is flawless. Do you have any tips for us now that the pageant land has started?
Honestly, my tip is to find what works with your skin. So as a cosmetology educator, I do get to teach everybody about hair, skin, and nails during the day. I have my favorite products. They're DMK. It's a paramedical brand here in the US, and I'm just obsessed with them. But make sure that you're using what's right for your skin and really treat your skin from within. The saying you are what you eat is more than true. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, staying hydrated in a well-balanced diet, and using those products that for your skin. We still have a year for our
Thank goodness.
International pageant. So we have some time to get our skin in check. But if for any reason you are on a short period of time, definitely go see your dermatologist or your local doctor to make sure you can get a little bit more in-depth tips and tricks.
Perfect. I love that. I've never had a cosmetologist educator on the show, but it kind of goes hand in hand with pageantry. So I'm glad that you're here. Who else do we have here? We have Sarah Edmonds. She says hello there. And we have Melissa Gregory. She's in the chats as well. So hello, ladies. If anyone else is tuned in and you're a little too shy to say hello, feel free to leave a comment. If you have any questions for our guests, make sure you leave them in the live chats and I'll be sure to ask her. So Sandahl, you mentioned we have a year. Actually, yes, we do have a year until our international pageant, so I just had to check the date. What has it been like for you preparing for our international pageant, which was actually supposed to be next month?
Oh, it's been so exhilarating. So yeah, our international pageant was originally scheduled for August. I'm grateful that I'm going to be able to have the opportunity to go to our sister pageant, which is the Bellas Latina pageant that is still happening in August. And I'm so excited for that. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of pumped that I get a whole extra year as Mrs. Pennsylvania. So that's really cool too. So my prep is really just to be consistent, doing what I need to be doing, getting out in the community, talking about the Galaxy system, talking about what my plan is as Mrs. Pennsylvania, and continuing to, articulate why I chose this pageant system has really been my focus. And everything that I do is just an extension of who I am as by day. So for me, it's just all fun. It's just a great way to get dressed up and have fun in heels and a crown and sash, really.
I love that. Okay, well, you mentioned off topic, off the air, that you had started pageantry a little bit later on in life. So can you share with us what your pageant journey has been like?
Yes. So I've been a competitor my whole life. I actually grew up modeling at a very young age. My dad was a photographer before he passed away. So I grew up kind of behind the scenes. But I really started pageantry after I got married, which was in 2015, because I had a son very, very young. So I was 19 when I had my son, because he's 13 now, and I just turned 34. And at that time, there really were no MS pageants, so men's pageants. And the ones that were out there, you had to be a little bit older to be able to compete. And the Miss pageants, MISS, didn't have pageant systems for women that had children. The Best Latina one was the only system that I knew of, and I am not Latina at all. I kept trying to search my heritage to see if I could just find a little bit in there. But that was really the only one that was out there at the time. And so I kind of waited a little bit longer. And then in 2015, I competed in my very first pageant, and I took first runner up, which was amazing. And it was like I got bit by the bug. So then I did a second one in 2016, and I didn't win. I didn't place at all. And I just came back again 3 years in a row. And then finally the third year, I walked away with the state title. And now I'm here at my most anticipated pageant. I've been wanting to do the Galaxy system for about 5 years now.
Wow.
And I finally had the courage to just do it. I was so nervous to compete in this system at first. I'm not sure why. I don't know if just because I just feel like the Galaxy system is just so amazing. I just kind of was like a little bit hesitant. And then finally, just talking with Crystal and the girls, I just decided to hop in. And I can't believe the amazing love and support that I've gotten since the day that I joined. And I'm just so happy to finally have jumped in the deep end, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you have as well. Like, I think it's because, you've anticipated it for so long. Like you said, it took you 5 years to sign up for the pageant. Now it's like, oh my God, here we go. Let's do this. So, but I'm so excited that you chose to do it 5 years later, because now our paths, I can't speak today, our paths, is that right? Our paths crossed at the perfect timing. I'm so excited to have you as this sister and just to see your journey continue. I was going through your photos, and girl, you are crazy photogenic. So the fact that your father was a photographer, it makes a lot of sense. Because you know how to work camera.
Thank you. It's a lot of work. I practiced for years and years and years. I still practice every so often just to make sure that I'm not rusty. Get in front of the mirror, hit different poses. I even turn on my camera and record myself to make sure that I'm hitting the right angles. And of course, feedback from not only pageantry, but photographers as well as people like yourself saying, "Oh, I really love that angle on you," or that style. It's really, really been helpful. And again, it kind of just encompasses pageantry in a whole, just to have fun and get those photos taken.
I love it. Honestly, with everything going on with lockdown, I have not had a photo shoot in maybe a year, and I'm itching for one. And so to see first off, your profile picture, when we called each other, I was like, damn, this girl is gorgeous.
Thank you. I haven't had one in about a year either, so I'm getting that itch too. But I'm waiting for my crown to come in, which is so excited, so that I can get the full, shabam done all at once.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see those pictures, and I'm sure they'll be just as stunning as all the pictures that I've seen of you online. But you are also gorgeous on video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you believe me, give a thumbs up to this video, because when you answered, I was like, oh, she's so pretty.
Thank you. You are as well too. I loved your photos as well. I'm like, I feel like sometimes we stalk each other on Instagram. I'm like, oh, I like that, and I like that, and I like that, and
yes.
So it's just been.
And then you get the notifications that someone's been on your profile.
Yeah.
Someone's been liking all your old photos. No, I love it. And with everything that's been going on with the pandemic, it's actually given us a better chance at getting to know each other more and talking. And I know there's talks in maybe you coming to nationals, and Canada Nationals, and hopefully we'll get to see each other in person because I hear through the grapevine that the Canadian borders are opening up and Americans who are fully vaccinated can start coming across the border soon. So hopefully it'll happen just in time for nationals.
I'm crossing my fingers. I'm crossing my fingers in hope because I live about 5 hours away from where you guys are holding your nationals, which is the benefit of living in Pennsylvania. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna hopefully be able to come. And if not, right when nationals, I definitely plan on making a trip to, see you girls in person, have an event there, and just really connect with you guys, because I just think it's amazing how close you really are when you look at it like that.
Yes, well, Pennsylvania is so close. I do have family there, and before this pandemic, we would see each other so often that you didn't realize that you were in a different country. Well, okay, let's talk a little bit about the pandemic because I did talk about it earlier. You signed up for Galaxy. It was in the midst of the pandemic. Our pageant was then postponed for another summer. What has it been like for you getting ready for the pageant as well as doing your appearances?
I hit the running because when I first signed up, I kind of came in a little bit late, if you think about it. So when I first signed up, I actually got my state title in April. And so by that time, a lot of the other title holders had their title for about a year. And again, we were planning on actually hosting our international pageant in August. So I was like, I got to get ready. I got to get my gown. I got to get so it was just like literally like, this was my box. Let's check it off, check it twice, figure out who's naughty and nice, all that jazz. And so I'm super prepared. And right now, like I said, I'm really just focusing on the body of the work because like I said, I really enjoy this pageant system and I really enjoy talking about it. I enjoy the sisterhood, and I just think that kind of radiates from me when I speak about it, because I truly felt like a mama bear just pulled me in and just wrapped their arms around me when I joined this system. So talking with my sister queens and doing that. As you also know, I started an online campaign for my virtual voice called Show Us Your Heart. So I started that campaign because my father passed away last year because of COVID-19 and his underlying heart condition. And I started it in the beginning of the year. And my original goal was to hit 50 people by my birthday, which was in July. And I succeeded that. So now I have a second goal to hit 100 people by the end of the year. And really the goal was to get my other pageant sisters from all across different systems, but especially the Galaxy and Base Latina systems, intermixed and showcasing how they stay heart healthy. And then what I do with those photos or videos is I pair them with a heart health tip or trick or fact. This way, my goal is to showcase people from all across the world and different ideas that maybe someone else could integrate into their life to start to become heart healthy, and just honor him, in a way that kind of is going to be there forever.
Well, I think that's great. I know you reached out to me. I said yes, and then I got busy, but thank goodness you're still doing it. So add me to the list. Everyone hold me accountable because I just said it on air. But no, when you reached out to me about it, I thought it was great, holding your dad's legacy where it is and really honoring him in that way. And also showcasing a healthy heart because, it's this pandemic. We've all been binge eating. I know I have. So this extension of a year has been great. But I think it's great to refocus on a healthy lifestyle, and what you're doing is amazing, and I'm sure your father would be so proud of you for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you. I hope he's smiling down.
I'm sure he is. So again, to all those who are watching, if you have any questions for Sandahl, make sure you leave a comment in the live chats and I'll be sure to ask her. But besides your campaign that's going on, is that your main platform or do you have other platforms?
So my main platform that is heart health, but my campaign is just one simple part. I'm a national ambassador for the American Heart Association, and I focus on educating for heart health. I'm an Empower to Serve educator, but I also do a lot of things in my community. I actually started my own nonprofit, which is still in the works, where I go out and I give free haircuts to veterans, homeless, children's shelters, and so much more. And with that, in turn, we also give out vouchers for people who maybe, we're not able to get to, but are maybe able to come in so that they can actually get a free haircut as well. But I kind of dabble in a lot of different things. I don't like to stick my eggs in one basket. And then recently I actually started an activity kit, very similar to like blessing bags. And my goal is over this year, I want to give out 100 activity kits to lower income children so that they can stay active throughout the whole year. So in a frisbee, a jump rope, chalk, dice, things that will kind of motivate them to stay heart healthy. And I found these really cool diced foam like workout things where like you roll it and it's like 10 sit-ups. So I'm putting that in there as well. So kind of like my take on how to stay healthy at home, with also making sure that if you can get outside, there's some activities for out there too. Encouraging that 60 minutes of healthiness a day in kids is really important for me. I just started that this year as well.
I love that. That's such a great idea. And so if people wanted to maybe donate to also take part and do it in their own hometown, how can they do so?
Absolutely. So first things first, you just have to have the motivation. So the activity bags, if you guys send me a message or Facebook, I'll be happy to send you out over the directions that I've incorporated into it with the items that I've put in, but you can kind of choose your own activities as well. The second step is I find a local resources that is in need. So really close to me is the Boys and Girls Club of America. So I reached out to them, asked them approximately how many children do they have typically present during their summer work camps, and to, ask if their children would be interested in that. Once I got that number, I started compiling what I would need. Then I reached out to some of my friends and family that were able to sponsor these items and businesses.
That's awesome.
So I am also accepting donations. If anybody's interested in donating frisbees, jump ropes, you name it, that can be used as an activity, you can definitely send those to me. And then I just started sorting and kind of take it from there. But it's one of those activities that you can kind of make your own, and you can kind of cater it to fit if there's other pageant queens out there for your platform as well. Because, the more that we get our message out there and the more that we talk to people about, what we actually do other than looking good in a crown and sash, I think the more that we get the message out there that you can not only be beautiful, but you can be smart, you can be intelligent, and you can come from any walk of life as well as shape and size. So that's kind of how I did it.
I love it. I think that's so great, especially during this time where there are families that have been struggling during this pandemic, and now that things are starting to open up, getting the kids active, getting the whole family active and getting them to spend some time outside. That's a great idea. Definitely something that not everyone thinks of. Usually it's let's donate snacks or let's donate clothes, but to donate something and put something together like that, I think that's amazing.
Thank you. I love it. It was a piggyback of something my family and I actually started. We started taking these hikes randomly one day a few years ago. And as you know, my husband is a former military, so he's in the Army. So most people in the Army know what a camelback is. But for anybody who's watching that doesn't know what a camelback is, it's a book bag that you put water in. So my husband's like, let's take these water bags because, we're going to be out instead of carrying bottles of water. It's like, this is such a great idea. So we started calling that Camelback Adventures because we would travel to different states and different trails, and it just became this like thing. Like, I didn't mean for it to become a thing. They're like, where are you going next? Oh my God, you're going there. It kind of became this thing. So I started like using that, of course, on social media, like #Camelback Adventures. Where will we go next? Like, where should we visit? And so kind of got us a way to travel the world in a safe manner during the pandemic, because on hiking trails, they're very far and few between. You can maintain your distance. You can also wear a mask outside. But it was something healthy enough where you were outside, still being active, and of course, giving yourself an excuse to be able to safely travel as well.
That's amazing. Well, you should take an adventure to Toronto. There's a lot of hikes in the area, so I'm sure if your family comes or if your husband comes, definitely something to look into. Sarah Edmond says, agreed. I love that. So going back to talking about what you've been doing with your packs. And Sarah, she's been really great at fundraising for Give Kids the World. So she's actually a finalist for the Ms. division of Galaxy Canada, and she's been killing it. I have no idea how much she's raised, but she has found really creative and delicious ways of raising money. She's one of the most creative people I've ever met. So if she agrees, we all agree.
I love that. And congratulations to her as well, because that's amazing. I love it.
I don't know how much she said, but last time I checked, she was like one of the top. So Sarah, keep what you're doing. And so going back to, you competed in pageants when you were now in the Mrs. division. You modeled as a kid, but what is it about pageantry outside, because I know modeling and pageants go hand in hand, but what is it about pageantry that caught your eye?
It sounds so corny, but the power of the crown and sash. I was doing all of these things as Sandahl Taylor before pageants, but when I put on this sash, people wanted to listen to me. They wanted to hear what I had to say. It opened so many doors for me that I couldn't just get open just by being who I was in general. It allowed me to connect with people like you from across the world that really wanted to hear about this thing that we call pageantry, because they wanted to hear, are the myths real, or is television real, or is that really what happens? And I love debunking them all. And I also found that with pageantry, it brought me this sisterhood that I could have never dreamed of. I'm blessed to say that I have 50 sister queens, one from every state, and 48 more from different countries of the world. And I haven't even fully counted how many Galaxy sisters I've uncovered so far, but I'm sure it's probably in the hundreds that I've been able to connect with. And these are women that I'm going to talk to for the rest of my life. And we're going to have this connection like no other. And to me, that's what keeps me coming back, is the ability to enhance my voice, add to what I'm saying, and like icing on the cake, like I get some really kick butt queens that are like my friends. Like, that's awesome.
That's amazing. It always intrigues me when people say that they started in pageantry a little bit later on in life because they had kids young, or they never thought that they could do a pageant, and then when they saw something like Galaxy or a different system, then they're like, oh, I can do it. So I think that's great that, the power of the sash is real. And that's why this show exists, because of that. But we are at the halfway point. So continuing on with all this pageant talk, you've been competing in pageants for a few years now, and there is a segment on the show which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. So Sandahl, what would be your top 5 pageant tips for all of those who are watching us today?
So my first tip is to research the organization. Know that pageant aligns with your values, your ethics, what you stand for. That's one of the reasons that I was drawn to the Galaxy system. I am a little bit heavier. I got curves, I got thighs, I got 2 kids and a husband and a cat, and I'm busy. And one of the things that drew me there was that I have seen girls win that are all heights, all ages, all size, all shapes, all colors. And that's one of the reasons that drew me in. My second tip is to make sure when you are getting ready for your pageant that you know all the categories that you're going to be competing for, and to prepare your wardrobe well in advance, because your body's going to change. You're going to be healthier, you're going to change. But if you prepare your wardrobe, then all you have to do is simple alterations. My third tip is to find a coach that is working with that system. Now, that doesn't have to be someone expensive. It could be a former queen, someone who recently competed, or hint, hint, sometimes you can ask the director, because they're phenomenal, what to really look out for, and also YouTube, those types of things. My fourth tip comes to packing. I am really an organizational queen. People actually find it crazy that when I travel for pageants, my last international pageant, I had 1 check-in, 1 bag under the airplane and 1 carry-on. That was it. So I had 3 bags total. That was it for an entire
Impressive.
10-day pageant. But it was because of how I packed. So what I do is I get a gallon Ziploc bag and I put the outfit that I'm wearing with a little card that I typically will like laminate. And on the card, it says interview outfit, gold dress, red earrings, silver shoes, for example. And that goes in the duffel bag. And all of my bags are vacuum sealed bags that you can actually roll out the air in, so that when I actually pack them, they're really compact. Then when I get to the pageant, I can literally take that bag out, put it on the hanger with those accessories, and it's ready to rock and roll, so that I don't have to think twice about what I'm supposed to be wearing for that day. I do tend to pack an extra outfit or 2 because, you know, things happen, but I don't overpack. And then my last tip is to always, always, always pack an extra pair of heels. I actually broke my heel on stage 1 and when I was modeling, and I had to finish my walk without 1 heel. So therefore, I have learned to always pack an extra pair of heels. That way, if that does happen, you're able to transform and make sure that you can get ready back on stage and not have to worry about not having heels. So those are my 5 tips.
I love that. It's just interesting because everyone talks about different things, but the vacuum sealed pack, I've always seen people do that, and I was like, man, I should really do that. But then my question is, when you're packing to go home, how do you just, because I know sometimes people actually use a vacuum, or do you actually just roll the air out?
So I get the rolling bags that you can both vacuum and roll, because obviously if you're traveling, sometimes there isn't a vacuum available, and it is still pretty compact. So I just repack it. As soon as I'm done wearing it, it goes back in that bag, roll the air out, back in my suitcase. So yeah, I typically get the same amount of room back in home. Or worst comes to worst, if maybe something happens and you can't get them done, you can always mail them back.
That's true. That's true. That works out too. I thought you were gonna be like, buy another luggage.
I've had to do that a couple times. I wanted an extra award. I didn't want to mail. I had to, send some clothes home so that I could pack my, thing around the clothes to make sure it didn't break. But it's like, I'm like, if there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
So, or if you don't want to wear it again, donate it to a sister queen. There's that too.
I think I've done that. Like when I've gone to the Philippines and I've packed a little way too much, or like I've gone to shopping, I just leave all the clothes that I guys keep it. It happens. But no, those were great tips. But if people wanted to learn more about you or had any questions, like you said, in terms of coaching to ask a former queen, where can people find you?
So you can find me on all social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. Basically just look my name up. It's Sandahl Taylor. I know it's a little bit hard. Or you can just find Regine and then find me on her friends list. Sometimes that's a little bit easier to make sure that you guys can connect with me. And we'll make sure too that I'll put it in the links whenever we're done chatting so you guys can find me. But I'm on everything. It's super easy to find me. My name's just a little tricky to spell. We were having this conversation earlier about pronunciations of names. So I love that you asked that as well.
So I will put all the links in the description. So after today's show, you'll find them all there. Don't worry. But yeah, you're right. Pronunciation of names is so important. I mean, how many times have you gone to Starbucks and they have spelt your name wrong?
I started just giving them my middle name. That's how much it happened because they just couldn't pronounce it. So I just give people my middle name when I either, order food or if I'm picking something up, I just give them my middle name because it makes it a lot easier.
Even if I gave them my middle name, they'd still spell it wrong. So, I mean, there's too many A's and too many... They got my name wrong all the time, but it's fine. That's why I do ask, because I know I butcher names, and that's the worst thing ever. So I do make sure to make pronunciations a thing. But no, those are great. Oh, okay, so Sarah Edmonds says, going back to Give Kids the World, she's currently raised $3,400.
That is amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Way to go.
Yes. And the interesting thing about Sarah is nobody knew she was doing it. She doesn't what's the word called? She doesn't advertise what she's doing on the site, and you see how much she's raised and you're like, how the heck did you do that?
That's awesome. That's really cool.
She's a silent, what am I gonna say here? A silent fundraiser. It's awesome. Well, Sandahl, you have a family. You were just talking to your son earlier, and I think we heard him just for a little bit there. What has it been like going from a young mom raising your family to jumping on the pageant stage?
Oh, my family has to be by my side. I try to take them to almost every event that I can possibly do because I do really want to instill on my children that it's important to give back. So I tell them about all the things that I'm doing. Now, of course, there are times where they can't come because maybe the event is geared for an older, genre or whatnot. But where there's, like I said, where there's a will, there's a way. So we do hiking together. It's really important for me to instill to them to become heart healthy because this was their grandfather that passed away. And, they have seen me and heard me talk about it so much that I think sometimes they're like, okay, Mom, we've heard it. But my kids are my biggest cheerleaders. My daughter, she's 9. She's not yet into pageants. She did do one where it was an online competition, but she's not ready to get on that stage. But I want to show her you can do anything if you believe in it and to never give up or give. And again, the thing that I love about this particular system is that there are other women who look like her, who have hair like hers. My daughter is beautiful, curly, dark hair that have won. And that is so important to me to showcase these kids that, if you dream it and you believe it, you can achieve that. And it just is going to be work. So it's been amazing to go from, being a single mom and not being able to compete to now being able to, I've dreamed about for so long, and really kind of embark on that journey.
Well, that's great. I think it's very important that your family is there and that they support you. And you mentioned your daughter, and representation is a huge thing right now, whether it be in media or even in pageantry. So talking a little bit about your daughter and how there are girls who look like her who are competing, I think that's amazing. I know I was speaking to a friend one day and his daughter has autism, and he was saying, I was like, oh, we should get your daughter into a pageant. There's a Little Miss. I've become that person that tells every person's child that they should do pageants. I just realized that. But he was like, oh, well, if she does do a pageant, it would have to be something for kids with disabilities. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Your daughter can still compete regardless of who she is. The disability, you don't see that. It's not on. You don't see it on the pageant stage. So I think it's great that you were able to showcase to your daughter that there are girls like her that are winning, that are on stage and killing it in life.
And you hit that point on the head. My son is actually just outside of the autism spectrum. He has a disability called SPMD, which is social pragmatic disorder. And so for him, sometimes you might not even know that he has a disability. He doesn't have repetitive motions. He doesn't have, some of the things that are visual that a lot of people associate with disabilities, whether they're, again, behavioral or, mechanical. And for him too, I like pointing out, even if they are girls, women in pageantry that have had disabilities that have competed, maybe again, even an amputee or someone who competed that had Down syndrome, so that he can also see it. And there are men's pageants as well. So I point those out to him too, just because I want him to realize just because he might be a little unique, that doesn't mean that there's not something that he can achieve. So you actually hit it right on the head.
Well, thank you. I don't know what to say about that. But Cindy's in the chats. She says hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. As if I don't talk to you every day. Hello, welcome to the Pageant Sit. Cindy has not been a guest on the Pageant Sit Down yet.
She needs to.
I just took that in. I just realized that. I'm like, I talk to her every day, but she's never been on the show. We'll get her there. She's really busy right now with internationals and the juniors going and the nationals happening. So in September, when she's not so busy, we'll get her on the show. She
I
says
think
Regine doesn't want me. That's not true. I just said we're gonna get you on the show. Calm down. Calm down.
that will be I'll tune into. We've been talking a lot too because again, you guys are so close to me, and I've been like asking her. I'm like, is the border open yet? Can I come? All these things. And she's just been fantastic. And she did my shirt, so I ordered a Mrs. Pennsylvania Galaxy shirt from her because I wanted to have something to represent my title. At functions where maybe a crown or sash might not be appropriate. I wanted to have something, so I got that from her too, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. You can wear it when you're traveling to Texas or when you're traveling to Toronto.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's kind of what it's there for.
There you go. Cindy says it's officially open for you. So I guess the borders are open. She says August 9th, fully vaccinated with negative PCR tests for Americans can come. So there you go.
Yay!
See you in August.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay, so that just means I have to schedule a test 2 days before, is it, Cindy? Within 72 hours. So I'll just have to make sure I schedule that test, and I'll be ready to rock.
She'll answer. Give her a moment. She says no quarantine for you either. So, but yeah, she says 72 hours. See, told you she's typing. Okay. So perfect.
I love.
So we'll see you in August. You heard it here first. I can't wait to meet you. I know that you've also been connecting with a lot of the Team Canada, and we cannot wait to meet you. I know you've been talking to the Costi sisters a lot. You're going to meet them before you meet me, but I mean, that's fine.
I'm excited, which means, we have to advertise, guys. Now that the borders are open, anybody watching Galaxy Pageant is coming up. So definitely we're going to have to advertise that with our clip here. Shameless plug. Shameless.
Go ahead. Do the plug. Do your thing.
Okay. So guys, anybody watching, Canada National Pageant is coming up. Check the link for more information. If you have your passport and your vaccine, you definitely need to be there. Come meet all of us in person at the Canada Galaxy Pageant.
Yes, it's August 21st. So it's a Saturday. It'll be a fun weekend. Oh my goodness, that just made me so happy to know that you're... Cindy, we have a guest on the list, just so you know. She's making her way through the borders. It's just so crazy to think, yes, you're a 5-hour drive away, and to see all the things that people were doing to avoid quarantine. Like, I remember seeing people who would walk across the border, just things like that. I think there was someone in Alberta that, took a kayak across the lake to get to the border. Yeah.
That's kind of, resourceful and, kind of epic, though. It's kind of cool when you think about it in a way. Because I don't know if I could kayak across the border.
I don't think that's a lot of manpower.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I took the ferry across your border, but then I had to come right back when I went to Niagara Falls. I don't know if that counts. That's about as far as I could go.
But the ferry, you're just gliding through the river. This guy was manpower. Let's get to the States. Guess he was tired of Canada. I don't know.
That's awesome. That's definitely super heart healthy too. So
that's true.
Maybe I should reach him to see if I could get his clip.
Are you gonna kayak to Toronto?
No, I definitely will be driving to Toronto.
It won't be a 5-hour drive. It'll be a 5-day kayak trip, but that's no problem.
I can't wait. I'm so pumped.
Me too. Well, now that things are starting to open up, what are some things that you're looking forward to with your title, and then you're getting your crown soon? What can we expect from you the next coming days or weeks or whenever you get your crown?
Well, I'm already out in the community doing things without the crown. I'm so excited. I'm hoping to get it here any minute, maybe in August. Who knows? At Bias Latina. I don't know. But whenever it comes, definitely my first thing on my list is to get an epic photo shoot of this crown that I've been wanting for 5 years now. I definitely have that on the plan. Coming up, things in the works are I have plans for every single month. So as you know, in August, I'm traveling not only to Texas for our sister pageant, but I'm also going to now travel to Canada. My goal was to get to 13 states, and I've already hit 6 of those because I recently traveled down to Florida to do some appearances as well. And then in September, this is going to sound crazy, but in September, my hometown is hosting our St. Patrick's Day parade because it had to be postponed. And it sounds kind of weird, but Pittsburgh is the world's largest second St. Patrick's Day parade. Next to Ireland, we host the world's largest St. Patrick's Day parade. So I'm really excited to be able to be in that. That's really one of the only parades that I have coming up, but I'm just excited to be hitting the ground running, getting outside. I'll be also doing in November an annual event called the Stand Up for Stand Down for Vets, where we give free haircuts to veterans outside. And typically we give about during that day and time frame to veterans at no charge. And that's one of my favorite events that I've been participating in for the past 7 years. So who knows everything, but I definitely have a lot of things lined up and planned. So again, you guys can follow me on all social media. Right now, like I said, I'm just kind of focusing on getting my voice out there and kind of talking about all things pageantry.
I love that. Okay, first off, when you were like St. Patrick's Day, I'm like, what month are we in?
That's why I said it's going to sound weird because St. Patrick's Day is normally in earlier in the year, but we're having it later because it's been postponed. So,
No, I mean, do it up, celebrate. It's, things are starting to open up, but of course, still stay safe because I do hear that Delta variant is making its way through the States right now. But hey, as long as you're staying safe, you're staying healthy, keep doing what you're doing because what you've been doing, you've been making a huge impact, not only in Pennsylvania, but like you said, 13 other states. You're coming across the border soon. You've changed the lives of many Galaxy girls across the world. So you should be really proud of yourself, seeing as how you just started in April too.
I'm so excited, and it's just kind of honoring and humbling because without the amazing sisters like yourself, I wouldn't have been able to do this, so it's not just me, it's all of us working together for a common goal. But like I said, I really wanted to make sure that when I came to Galaxy, I made an impact, and I wanted the girls and Maria and the queens to see my heart and to see that this system really means a lot to me. It really means a lot for me to be able to come and compete at the system, truly who I am, as you see is what you get. And I really just wanted to show them that, this is not just about a crown, that this is about so much more than that. And I love it. I love every minute of it. So I'm just going to keep taking it until I got to go international. And hopefully after that, win or lose, you'll be seeing me again.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm so excited. Like you said, we have this extended year. Literally an extra year for us to get ready for the internationals, but then also to get to know each other so much better. And I can't wait to continue this journey with you. It's been an honor getting to have you here on the show and to hear your story, to open up, because like I said, when it comes to the Mrs. Division, there's so many women who are like yourself, where they felt like they couldn't compete because they were a single mom or a young mom, and being able to fulfill your dreams now, I think that is amazing. And you're also not a role model to all of us, but also to your daughter and your son. So that's amazing.
Thank you. It's been an amazing ride, and my husband's my rock. Us married women, we couldn't do it without their support, without our partner, without our family, without that guidance. And I really believe in the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a regent queen as well. And I just can't say how much grateful I am. So thank you for having me. It's just been such a pleasure. I can't wait to talk with you more. And definitely get to meet you. I'm so excited.
Me too. When Cindy was like, yeah, you can come across the border, I'm like, oh, there goes my train of thought. No, I'm so excited. It's going to be so exciting just to be able to not just see you, but all the other people who have been wanting to come. And Canada Galaxy has grown so much in the last 3 years. So to see all the support that it's been given, I've been with Cindy since she brought it to Canada. So just like you with your journey where you were first runner up and then you did it again and you did it again, it's so crazy to see what Galaxy has become. And there are girls who have come back every single year, and I'm sure they will continue to do so because you're right, Galaxy is such an amazing system. It's women of all walks of life, of different shapes, of different sizes. So I'm excited to see you and to see everyone else in a few months. So before we start to wrap things up here on this show, is there anything else that you'd like to maybe share with the audience about your pageant journey, your journey as a woman, anything?
Honestly, I know we're wrapping up, so I just like to share like one of my quotes that I kind of live by because it kind of wraps everything together. For those of you guys who know me and don't, hopefully now you do. I started really loving inspirational quotes, and I found a quote that is all about being a pineapple. And most of you have heard this quote if you've been in pageantry. So the quote goes, "Be a pineapple, stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside." And what really resonated with me with that saying was, first off, I love pineapples. So there's that. But standing tall, it took me a really long time to be proud of who I was. I went through domestic violence with my first, person who I fell in love with my first child's father. I recovered from homelessness, thanks to my amazing husband now, who kind of picked from my ground and supported me all the way. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I kind of grew a lot to be able to be who I am today. Wear that crown. We are all born with a crown on our heads, man or woman or child. We are all kings and queens in our own right. And it's there. It might be invisible at the time, but it's all there. And last but not least, but be sweet on the inside. That to me just represents being kind and being genuine and wholehearted. I really believe that if anything that 2020 and even 2021 showed us is that we need more kindness in this world, and we need to support one another. There is plenty enough of the world to go around. And when we love each other and support each other and lift each other up, we all succeed. And for me, that's kind of why this whole saying resonated with me. So it's like on my car, my window, it's actually on my pageant binder right in front of me. Pretty much anywhere you go, I have like a little pineapple on the bottom of my sash, too. And I always love sharing that quote and really why it's resonated with me, because I want to remind everybody that we can stand tall no matter what we've been through. And we've all been on amazing journeys. So to just remind everybody of those things.
I love that. You realize now every time I see pineapple, I'm going to think of you.
Love it, girl. I love that.
I love pineapples too. I actually have some in the fridge, so we know what I'm going to snack on later tonight. But no, thank you so much for sharing your story. Just even that, you explaining your story just with that quote in itself, to really be vulnerable and share your story online with us. It really goes to show that you are sweet on the inside and out. And I think that you are an amazing woman. You're an amazing, I said, I can't wait to see where your journey continues with Galaxy. I'm also more excited because I am moving to your division, as we spoke about, and I'll be able to go on you as of August.
I'm so pumped for that. Can't wait. Because we were gonna meet regardless, but now that you're moving to the married division, I'm even more excited because we'll get to spend a little bit more time than we normally would have together, and we're gonna just get to know each other better, and I can't wait.
Me too. And it's so crazy because I'm sure there's people who are listening. They're like, wait, they're going to be in both in the same division, and they're so happy because, people are like, oh, but aren't pageant girls competitive? But I love that we support each other and that we can be there for each other.
Yeah. And it sounds so crazy. It's not a competition with the woman to your left or to the right.
No.
Because that's not what it's about. It's a competition with on what you presented that day. And again, some people have already heard this saying, but you could have this different judges on the same day and there would be a different result. So as long as you know what you want out of this experience, I always come in with a list of things. What did I come here for? What did I want to get out of this experience? Whether that's 3 things or 5 things. And when you leave with that, you're already a winner. You're leaving with a title and a crown and a great experience. And so if you walk in already knowing that you've already won, you've already won. You've gotten to this amazing place where some women can never get to. You walk away a winner too. And so, yeah, there is no competition with the woman to my left or to the right. It's with me on that given day and presenting my best self. And heck yeah, I'm rooting for my girls, because if one of them win, I'm going to be celebrating them. Yes, ma'am, because all of the women are amazing, phenomenal women. And only the powers that be know who's going to win that day. So whether that's God or whoever you believe in, they are the people who know. Whoever time it is, it will be their time. And I can't wait to see who that is, because they're going to be kick butt and ready to rock. That's all I know.
Exactly. And we've all been on this journey for so long. Whoever wins the crown, Mrs. Galaxy Canada, Denise Garrido says it all the time, it's her destiny. There's only one girl, one crown, one person who's destined for the title. And you just said it as well. So I guess it must be true.
I love it.
Me too. Well, Sandahl, I'm so glad that we were able to sit down and talk, and Cindy sharing the news that the borders are opening up, because that just brought a whole new energy to this conversation, and it just gives us all a little bit more hope. So I do hope that we are able to meet in person in August, that you and your family stay safe. And honestly, thank you again so much for being so vulnerable and honest and open about your story, and for sharing that with all of us tonight.
You're so welcome. And thank you again for being on. Thank you, Cindy, for that amazing news, because now I'm not going to be able to sleep the rest of the night, because I'm going to be so excited. But again, I'm still looking forward to seeing you, and thank you again for having me.
Thank you. And to all of those who tuned in, thank you for joining us today. I know there are a few of you. Some of you did not say hi. That's okay. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoy pageantry as much as we do, be sure to subscribe to the one episode into the Pageant Sit Down, where we go live every Monday and Wednesday. Sandahl, again, thank you so much for joining us. I cannot wait to see your new photos when you get your crown, and to see you in person.
Thanks, sweetie.
No problem. We'll see everyone again on Wednesday. Sandahl, again, thank you so much. We'll see you all soon. Bye.